Hello everyone, this is my second video I'm putting out. This channel is going to be dedicated to hopefully inspiring each and every one of you to make changes in your life, right? And so what I mean by changes is anything from health, wealth, love, and happiness. For me, it's the rat race, the wealth and the happiness. Let me talk about hypnosis, because that's what I'm going to be doing this first session here. I'm going to my first session of hypnosis, okay? So what hypnosis is, it's not sleep, it's not, you know, you're not going into some crazy outer universe, whatever people think. What it is it's heightened state of suggestibility, okay? And so let me break down the model of the mind and how it works. You've got the conscious mind, you have the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind, right? So the conscious mind, what we're talking with and speaking with right now and thinking, is only holds about 7 to 9 bits of information. So it constantly goes to the subconscious mind. Now, subconscious mind is where all our beliefs are stored. Everything that we've ever observed, we've slapped the belief on it and we shoved it in the subconscious mind, filed it away. Or it might be a neutral belief, whatever. Let me give you an example. So let's say you're 5 or 6 years old and then your dad's out front talking to his buddies, and you walk up and you say something to your dad and his buddies laugh. All of a sudden, you've got the experience of speaking out loud in front of 5 people and people laughing. And you shove that in your subconscious mind, okay? Now, you most likely never remember that situation. But what happens is the conscious mind, now in present time, will see an experience, like let's say it's speaking in front of public, and your conscious mind can't hold all that information, so it goes back to what it already knows. It goes to the subconscious mind, and it remembers that when I speak out loud, I get laughed at, and so you are now fearful. That limits your belief for anything in the future. Now, you usually have reinforcements that reinforce that situation. So maybe next time is you're in first grade and you're reading out in class and someone laughs when you stutter or something, and so that's reinforcing the fear, right? So what hypnosis does, you go back to that original time when you had the first original experience, and you neutralize that experience. And how you do that is you take your older self, right, and you go back to that original experience and you walk through that same experience. You almost rewrite the subconscious mind. So you walk through that experience as your older self, right? Now you go talk to your dad and his buddy laughs. No big deal. It's not fearful, right? It was fearful when you were 5 years old, but it's not fearful now. So what happens is that emotion starts to neutralize. You neutralize these limiting beliefs that you have. So now when you want to go speak in public, your conscious mind isn't going, oh God, that's scary. It's going, this is a new experience. This is a totally new experience, and I'm not afraid, right? Because there's no reason to be afraid. I'll get into it more. I'll tell you exactly what hypnosis sessions are what. I don't think there's ever been a documentation on a hypnotherapy. Not that I saw, because I looked way into it. And so this is either going to debunk it or it's going to be amazing, right? And so, but you have to go at things as the belief that it's going to be amazing and it's going to be transformational. Because if you say this isn't going to work, it's not going to work. It's like anything. If you give yourself an excuse, it's not going to work. So this first one is direct suggestion. It pretty much just, you go in hypnosis and maybe you get a suggestion that every time that you see the color red, you feel empowered, right? So then you go through the whole week of every time you see red, subconsciously you're like, wow. And then you go back to the second session, you go, wow, that really worked. And so it reinforces the belief that hypnosis works. Then you can start doing the work, the age regression, the forgiveness of others, the forgiveness of self, and then the parts mediation therapy. And I'll get into all those things later. So you guys stay tuned. I'm headed into my session right now, the first one ever, and I'll let you know how it goes. All right. Back from my first hypnosis session. I just went in, had about a 2-hour session, first one, and it went very good, very different than I expected. Remember now, I just went through this class to be a hypnotherapist, and it still was very different than what I expected. So I went in, I got a questionnaire I had to fill out, and one of the things was list 7 things about yourself that you would like to change and what benefits you would see if you were to change them. So first 3 went down. I want to be able to speak in public, and I want to be able to be comfortable talking to people, and very outgoing. You know, I want to be able to meet people and not be afraid or anything like that. To take people out to lunch, to pick their brain. So the first 3 questions went down very easily. I knew what I wanted to change. And so I said, you know, do I have to do all 7? And she said, yeah, that's the point. All right, so I'm sitting there thinking, what can I change? What can I change? And then all of a sudden, about number 6 came to light that it seems like everything I do, I'm doing it to please others. So I'm working really hard, extra hard at work, because I want to look good in front of other people. You know, I'm always trying to please other people, and I thought, well, if I didn't really care what other people thought about me at all, then that'd be awesome. So I wrote that down. So we get into her office and we start talking about you know, my questions, and the main one she focused on was that one. Why I feel that I have to, you know, that I care what other people think. And so we just dove into that, and you know, we started talking about, we dug up, she asked me some things in my past, you know, how did I grow up, and what happened was my parents got divorced when I was young, and then my mom and stepdad, we moved out from New Jersey to California when I was about 8 or 9, and I remembered, I never remembered until we started talking about this, that I had a strong New Jersey accent, really strong, like, you know, and I came to California, and I remember being here in California, and all the kids would laugh at my accent, which whatever, didn't really bother me. But then we started to talk about how, you know, things that happened in when I would you know, like when I would read out loud in class, like 2nd grade, and I was fearful, so fearful. I thought everybody was talking about me or laughing at me, and what I think, well, what she was saying was, what maybe they were talking about you, you're laughing about your accent when you were talking, and subconsciously, that's kind of probably what started this whole fear. So I don't know that for sure yet. We didn't get all into it. We did. We got into hypnosis, and the first, like I said, the first round is a lot of direct suggestion. So, but we went back. We did a very quick. Back to childhood, and this was the part that I was like, really, like, I don't know if I could do that, because my imagination and my memory's pretty bad. So to be able to go back in time, I thought, man, this is going to be hard for me. But she said, go back to the time before you had to please people. And so I went back, and I remember seeing myself as like 5 years old, and I was running around. She said, go back to that time. So I see myself running around, right? She says, tell that little boy inside of you, that's inside of you, tell him that it's okay. You don't have to be afraid, right? And so I'm trying to tell him, and he's running around, running past me and stuff, and I'm trying to tell him, and I'm like, he's not listening. And she said, grab him, shake him, whatever you got to do. Tell him that it's okay. Everything's okay. You don't have to be afraid. Which, if you knew then what you know now, then you would not be afraid. And so I grabbed him just like she said, and I shook him, and he looked stunned. This is me. I'm looking at my you know, myself at like 5 years old, and I was like stunned, and I'm like, everything is okay. I am you, and you are me, and there's nothing to be afraid about. And so, very strangely, like, it was just shock, just like I don't know if it sank into my younger self or not, but we ended it there. We didn't go too deep, because this is like the first couple sessions, and so then we ended it with some direct suggestion. Every time I see the color red, I would feel empowered about all the things that I want to do, you know, like I want to be successful and this and that. And so I left. As soon as I walked out, I see 2 red cars right next to me, you know, it's red everywhere, there's red flowers, there's red this, and so it just helps you to you know, remember that this is working. It's reassuring that it's working. So pretty awesome first session, and I'll let you know how the rest of them go. Maybe I'll do a video in between, go over a few things. I always come out to when I come out to Tustin, there's this bomb Vietnamese sandwich shop. It's like, doesn't sound good, but it is bomb, and I always get one of those and a coffee. So I enjoy it out here in Tustin. But anyways, you guys stay tuned. If you have any comments or whatever, leave me something. I'll respond. All right, have a good one.